So we had the big announcement yesterday that Casemiro is set to be leaving United at the end of the season, and it's not something that wasn't really unexpected, but it's definitely something now that should be sending tensions rising. It was obviously United weren't going to do much business during this January transfer window, apart from maybe get another stopgap player in there. We'll just have to wait and see who this mystery player that Ben Jacobs keeps talking about is. But in today's video, I want to take a look at the astronomical task that's going to be facing the United board and whoever the United manager is going to be, because next summer transfer window, we're going to be needing 2 first-team midfielders at the very least. And we have to hope that Casemiro can give us one last push, as Champions League will surely be needed to attract the top midfielders in the summer. And let's face it, this midfield rebuild hasn't been done properly since the current United manager left. So we could see Carrick doing the job of overseeing, finding a replacement, really for himself. That's how long United have needed to sort this midfield out for.
It's been 84 years.
And then looking at United's midfield, I mean, this is it. We knew we were short on numbers in there, but you take Casemiro out at the end of the season. Ugarte, I mean, he really should be leaving, let's be honest. And then you're looking at Bruno Fernandes' situation. We had all that talk last summer of him potentially leaving. He chose to stay. But how much longer is he going to continue to sort of do these rebuilds at United for? How much longer is he going to continue to stay loyal to us? We don't really know. Like, for me, the thought of getting rid of Fernandes and Casemiro in the same summer, I mean, it doesn't bear thinking about. The amount of leadership that's there with those two, and especially with Fernandes, he's not declining in his quality, so I would definitely be keeping him around as one of the main focal points of our team. But then you're looking at also with Mason Mount. He's been more of a winger, really, than any sort of centre midfielder. Can he play that sort of number 8 role that Carrick has had Mino playing in that Man City game? We don't really know. But then also, they have 2 other players, Collier and Dango. I mean, they're both going to be out on loan now for the rest of the season again. So, are they going to be coming back, providing any sort of first team minutes next season? We don't really know. And then with Kobe Mino, I mean, United are now starting to look at a new contract for him, which completely makes sense to me. The fact that United were buying into what Amrin was telling them about Kobe Mino was absolutely absurd. Given the fact now that you knew Casemiro was going to be leaving as well, the fact that Ineos were seemingly happy letting Kobe Mino go at the end, well, even in January, potentially the end of the season, I mean, again, doesn't bear thinking about. How can you run a club and just neglect your midfield that poorly? I mean, you're getting rid of Casemiro, you should be getting rid of Ugarte. There's no way on earth you should be getting rid of Kobe Mino as well. And now that Amrim's left, it's never really been so clear for United. You build that midfield free and you build around Kobe Mino. And in that pivot, you get in that Casemiro replacement then, which we've probably needed for the last couple of years, to be honest. But whoever it is, United need to get it right, and it's simply just not going to be easy. To Casemiro's credit, everyone thought he was washed, and that was when Ten Hag was in charge.
Leave the football before the football leaves you. The football's left him. At this top level, he needs to call it a day at this level of football and move.
But United this season, playing 1 game a week, he's been pivotal. Defensively, he's been huge. And then you're looking at the passing as well, he's been decent. And throughout his time at United, his effectiveness in both boxes really shouldn't go unnoticed. You add into that the leadership that obviously Casemiro brings into this squad, the amount of experience he's got underneath his belt, is why I would have been inclined to give him 1 more year with this squad. You bedding in any new signings then as well, obviously making him more of a bit part player next season, but obviously you're looking at it, the decline in physicality of him, obviously the wages that he's on as well. It does make sense now for United to move on. And United and Casemiro not waiting round till the end of the season now means that we should be getting our main targets really sorted. Obviously, European football, Champions League ideally is going to massively help. But we know United have had these 3 targets in mind for a while now. And that's going to be Anderson, Baleba and Wharton. But each of them is going to require big money, and there's no doubt going to be competition from other clubs as well. There keeps being talk of United getting more than one of them in next summer. How realistic that is, we'll have to wait and see.
2! Is 1 not enough?
Anderson, for me, would be the top choice. He's shown this season now how great his all-round skill set really is. his numbers both on the ball and also off it as well, they've largely been leading the way this season. He'd cost big money, but him next to Mino, I think that would represent a very good midfield pivot. And Baleba is another one that United have had long-term interest in. We did dabble a little bit in him last summer, but overall that £100 million move, I think it would have been foolish for United to have jumped on that last season. We've seen Baleba struggle this year, and I'm not as big on him as a lot of others have been, obviously, during the course of the last year. I've done a video on him recently, so make sure you're checking that one out, because it does highlight the worries that I have regarding Baleba. But you can't obviously overlook the physicality that he has, the defensive nous that he's got in that midfield pivot. Obviously, that's why United will be looking at him to partner Mino in our midfield. Adam Wharton obviously has quality. He's one of the best passers in the Premier League. But is he physically imposing enough? Is he good enough defensively to really replace Casemiro in United's midfield? And that's the only area where I do have doubts over him. And other players from the Prem, which could be a little bit cheaper, would include the likes of James Garner, who continues to impress at Everton. Alex Scott of Bournemouth keeps getting better and better. From across Europe as well, United have had links to other midfielders, the likes of Ederson, Stiller and Javi Guerra. So there are other options that may be a little bit cheaper out there for United. But that's where the scouting department comes in. And the United scouting department hasn't done bad so far. It's just the fact that United haven't pulled the trigger on the right signings. And there's not going to be one player who comes in and fixes all of United's issues. It's going to take at least 2, more likely 3 or 4, especially if we're going to be playing more than 1 game a week, going to be in Europe as well. And that's where you start looking at our academy. Can that help us out as well? I've already spoke of Collier. Does he have a place still left in the United squad? And you've got others obviously as well in the academy right now. You've got Jim Thwaites, you've got Jace Fitzgerald and Jacob Devaney. You've got Sekou Kone, who was meant to go out on loan, and Ineos need to sort something out for him and fast. Also the Fletcher brothers, who've been featuring in matchday squads recently. Can they become first-team regulars? There might be more from the youth ranks as well that I'm missing. But if United can get one of those players playing regular first-team minutes and really shining on the main stage next season, that just means then it makes that rebuild a little bit easier and you're not having to go out to spend as much money, and you obviously then got money for other areas, because it's not just United's midfield that needs sorting out going into next season. And it's clear now the next few months, with the manager situation still looming large, players departing in the summer, on top of an already imbalanced squad that doesn't really suit the back 5 or the back 4 shape, Ineos now and their hierarchy have a massive job on their hands. And do I have any faith in them based on what I've seen over the last year or two? Absolutely not. But I'd love to be proved wrong now. And you'd like to think whoever is going to be in charge now, going into next summer, there's already a plan in place for United, what the style of play is going to be, what players they're going to be targeting, how much money and stuff they've got to spend. But we're all going to have to just wait and see. But it's absolutely pivotal now, and it's one of the most pivotal rebuilds the United have needed for quite some time now. And we've needed it for quite a few years. And we've been putting it off. But Casemiro leaving means now that it's really now or never for United. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here. I'll catch you in the next one.